One of the ideas that I had for a nonprofit business format was to take a um, to take like a miniature Bluetooth printer like this Kodak one right here, and so it prints instant photos. So I was thinking about the idea of printing instant documents, and so I thought about printing instant poetry documents that were written on demand for people, kind of like if you were doing an artwork that was visual and you were doing it on demand for at the time and you were printing it off right there or drawing it right there. Except this would be poetry, and you would just wear like a T-shirt that would say something along the lines of, um, you know, hashtag poetry for sense. And then you would have like a bag, a collection bag, and you would use the collection bag to take 4 cents or less for a poem from somebody, and you would put that change into the bag, and then you would, uh, when you have that change in your bag, different, and you can carry it around with you mobily. And the whole point of this was to create constraints on the business proposal that are mobile and that are cost effective. So like this works with your phone, your cell phone, and it works with an app. This is actually going out of business, but there are, or out of production, but there are a lot of other models too that I found online for mobile Bluetooth instant printers for documents and photos. And photo quality actually gives, if you're using a glossy print, will actually give it a better look that's more professional. Or like you could print it on, say, an instant business card printer, and you just buy the paper online or sometimes in store. And what you do is you you print this off, and for the customer that is actually for their for whatever they're going through or whatever they want. If they want a love poem and they're a couple, or if it's a kid who wants like a children's poem, and you take what you and you essentially, once you've gathered enough cents in this bag, um, you use those pennies and you put them in a coin collector, and you, like at the mall or whatever, or Walmart, and then you use that money to go and buy a homeless person breakfast. And so the idea that came to me was that, and um, I was thinking about it recently, and more recently I was thinking, you could do this. It could not only be one person who does this, but it could actually be a movement for a lot of people to do this, or like people to do this throughout the world, and everybody would know based off of the moniker and the saying, um, hashtag poetry for sense, that this particular brand is everybody's working, you know I guess you'd have to have like a central office, like kind of like the Salvation Army. I think they do. In order for it to be considered a nonprofit, otherwise everybody'd be doing it individually, and you would never really know if the money was being used right. But um, yeah, the idea was that, and so it was the idea that you could create a movement of individuals who, I'm really bad at like managing things because of my schizophrenia, but it was the idea that you could create a movement to help homeless people, like at the start of their day, give them breakfast, maybe something that they need. And, all it takes is like, um, and the whole idea is that poetry for sense isn't just about sense, it's something that makes sense. And so, yeah, that was my idea for a nonprofit movement. Um, and it's also a way that people could get their poetry and different styles of poetry out there in the world. And you could simply, sit on a metro train during your time off from work, or your break, or sit, you could be sitting at work, or you could be sitting somewhere and just have this on you and have this T-shirt. And the idea is you would just print off poetry for people, and you could also print off pictures that you had taken, if you are a good photographer, with your phone. And so, uh, yeah, so that was my idea for Poetry for Sense, hashtag Poetry for Sense, in conjunction with my YouTube channel. And that was the original idea that I thought of. And instead, I decided that I wasn't equipped to start a nonprofit, but it's more like this idea would be like a movement rather than simply a nonprofit. Yeah. Anyways, bye.